Nevada. And now we move ahead, viewers, to track the latest on the Iran war. Let's start with the oil prices. They have been declining today, reversing sharp gains from the previous session as expectations of imminent US-Iran peace talks eased concerns over prolonged supply disruptions from the Middle East. Brent crude futures fell 95 cents or 1% to $94.53 per barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude for May dropped $1.54 or 1.7% to $88.07. The more active June WTI contract was also down 1.3% at $86.37. Let's in fact take a look at the latest oil prices of the different baskets today. All right, we now go across to put these in our screens. We start in fact with the WTI crude. It was last $86.68, saw a change of 0.85% decline and effectively $0.74 per barrel oil price tracker of WTI crude. Let's move ahead. In fact, taking now a look at the Brent crude prices. They were last at $95 per barrel, declined by $0.7, effectively a 0.49% change there. And moving ahead, let's also now take a look at the Murban crude. It was last $93.04, increased here by $1.34 and effectively a 1.46% change there. The DME Oman was last at $97.85, increased by $4.19 per barrel, and a percentage change of 4.47% was seen. And taking now a look at the Indian basket, it was last $100.41, declined, a sharp decline of 9.24% and a change of $10.2 per barrel. Now the Dubai crude, $100.45, also fell 4.49%, and it's seen a change of 4.28%, pardon me, and a decline of $4.49 effectively. All right, that's the index broadly, the basket that we are looking at. Let's in fact now go across to our guests in the discussion. I have right now in the conversation with me foreign affairs expert Mr. Tejawa. Thank you very much for joining me. Firstly, what is your take on the changes that we are looking at, and do you think it's going to last or is largely temporary?
Personally, I believe that it's temporarily because the United States is still having forces. They are nearby the Iran, and I suppose the Hormuz Strait is still disturbed. There is no permanent solution. Still, both the parties has found. So I suppose it's a temporary. Contemporary, I would like to say that the United States has really harmed the Indian interest very well. Even they started harming Indian interest in the 90s decade, and still they are continue. And it's really very much, I must use the word pathetic, that in the beginning is we were buying the oil in a very cheaper price. it was the United States who really stopped us to buy the gas and oil from the Iran. And now continuously when the Hormuz Strait is uh, disturbed, the United States uh, only the few months back imposed the tariff on India because India was purchasing the cheaper crude oil from Russia. And suppose if we could agree with the United States that at present situation could be a very tough for our, so I believe that the situation is really very temporary, and we need to analyze the full foreign policy towards the United States, and we need to find out that our interest is with the United States or maybe some other stakeholders. Over to you.
Mr. Tijawat, why do you think that India has been able to protect its market when almost every other country in the world has seen oil, petroleum, gas, gasoline, diesel prices increase? What is the magic that India has really done here to secure its consumers and save the prices from escalating?
I think this one is not true because when we are comparing India with the China, so lots of experts they say that the China and India are two different countries and a different society. But I believe that we started the journey of development altogether, and we can see that China very well protected its interests. So we cannot compare India with many other countries where the India is having a large population, and if we compare the India's per capita income, then it's very less. So if we say that many other countries are suffering, that's if the India is suffering because of the United States policy or maybe the Euro-American policies towards India, then I suppose that this is not justified because India was having alternative to find a better pathway to find its own problem solution of its own problems. So I think that the India must think about its policies and not only the foreign policy but the development policies. And India must need to think that what I suppose the possible changes can do in it so the Indian the large population, which is having a very low per capita income, can really gradually may develop in a positive way. Over to you.
All right, please stay on with me, Mr. Tijawat. We'll take some more updates coming.